Their primary role is to inform the public and hold those in power accountable at all times. But even as they execute their roles, journalists in Uganda have had to endure intimidation and extremely challenging working environment, especially during elections. Security forces, specifically the Uganda Police Force and the Uganda People's Defence Force, have been documented to be the main tormentors of members of the press. So many journalists have previously fallen victims of the brutality unleashed by security personnel, but their tormentors are never brought to book in most cases.
The former IGP only said they were beating journalists for their own sake. So we do not have this assurance that if things are going wrong, the heads of the security will come in to prevail over their very own. So it, in a way, creates an impression that these are sanctioned actions against journalists.
As the country enters a very busy elections period, there are fears that journalists are likely to yet again face intimidation and torture by security personnel. And indeed, the Kawempe North by-election has already shown signs of direct attacks on journalists by the security forces. Miracle Ibra of Top TV and the Nation Media Group's duo of Stephen Chibuika and Stephen Bide have tested the lethal force of the ruthless security personnel in the past week, all of them while covering matters related to the Kawempe North by-election. Unlike before, security personnel brutalizing journalists are not the ordinary police or soldiers, but members of the Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force or JAT, whose primary responsibility is to fight terrorists.
The new trick is literally new because we are seeing now the advent of JAT into public order management in an election. Before we would see the Chiboko Squad people, we would see the special police constables. Now we are grappling with how to get justice for Miracle and Mbide and certainly others in the face of people whose identity is very hard to establish.
These are the security officers that have instilled fear among journalists who just hold cameras, microphones, pens, notebooks and recorders. They don't want to be filmed whenever they are in action. In fact, one of the JAT officers was captured pointing the gun directly to our camera person as they fired live bullets during the first day of the nomination exercise of Kawempe by-election aspirants. Had he pulled the trigger, the story would be different. JAT officers are also on record assaulting our camera person on the first day of the Kawempe North by-election campaigns, ordering him to delete the video footage he had recorded when security confronted the leaders and supporters of the National Unity Platform Party at the party headquarters.
I am saying delete that. Wait, I will handle this. Don't let us listen.
The latest attacks on journalists has been condemned by Parliament, the Electoral Commission and human rights bodies. Now, the Human Rights Network for Journalists is planning to engage media practitioners across the country on how to keep safe during elections coverage. The organization also intends to meet security forces over the safety of journalists.
Nobody saw JAT coming on the scene, so we didn't plan for them. But now that this has happened, maybe we are going to plan better. We have already ordered for armored jackets for journalists so that they keep more secure.
Daniel Kibet, NTV.